So in this video, I'm going to be looking at Studio Series Ironhide. His cannons have fallen off because he's been out, but standard Studio Series box. Product shot, nice side logo. But not only am I going to be looking at this guy, we're also going to have a little look at this guy, the Masterpiece version, just because I want to compare the robots with each other, and I thought I might as well do it whilst I was doing the Studio Series. So here's his box. Theory is in vehicle mode. I'm not going to be transforming him. Probably ever. So, first of all, let's get Studio out of his box. And I'll get his guns on. So here he is out of his box and in his cardboard scene. What I like is obviously Sideswipe's scene is the Mexican standoff before, and Ironhide's here is after what's his face has been kicked into the window, which I quite like. Anyway, not here to look at cardboard, we're here to look at this chap. Nice head sculpt. Mine has got, quite frankly, sloppy paintwork on the eyes. It's like he's got the nicely painted one, and then he's got one where there's just paint all over the place, which is a little bit disappointing. Articulation. Head. Left. Left. And right, there we go. No up, no down, no... it's more looseness than it is actual shuffle. The arms, he's got weird arms, isn't he? And we'll talk about the Masterpiece ones in a moment. I like that they come under here. Obviously no real articulate, you got a bit of elbow, and we have wrist swivel. They do come back to there, so he can look like he's going to give you the cuddle, and of course he's got his cannons. Quite nicely painted cannons too. I wish this bit here clipped. And there it is, clipping. So, yeah, okay, I'll shut up about that. That's much better, because that was starting to get on my nerves. I just wasn't pushed down properly enough. No waist, but we do have upper thigh. Not a bad knee, considering he's got a 4x4 hanging off the back of his calf. No real foot, so not the most poseable, but I do like him. I'm just going to stash him there for a moment and get the Masterpiece guy out. So, what can we say about Masterpiece Ironhide? I was disappointed. Because obviously he was delayed for months, so when they delayed him for months, I figured that would be to do some improvements. But we'll start with the good. He's got a wicked head sculpt, and I love the way his jaw goes. And we've got left and right. We've got some Cybertronian on his forehead. We've got Uber up. That's it. We're going to come to the legs next. We've got a bending down. We've got a rotation there. We have waist. We have that much out. We have knee swivel, which is interesting. That much at the knee. Nice die cast feet. Bit of heft. And overall, he looks really cool. So let's cut to the problem, shall we? The arms are a complete, total and utter disaster. I mean, they come out of his back, for goodness sake, and they've got these big panels on them. They don't peg in. I think there's some folks that say you can sort of basically wedge them. But the arms, they come out through there on the Studio, and I think it works so much better. And there's no real, like the kibble here is very noticeable, especially if he hasn't got his cannons on. You know, there's a truck door on his arm. See, so I like the Masterpiece's head, I like his chest, I like his legs, but his shoulders are a bit of, and his arms are just a bit of a nightmare. And it's, you know, I'm just really disappointed by that. I love, I don't know, there are bits about this figure I love, and I'm sounding negative just because I was so looking forward to this figure, because I really quite like Ironhide in the movies. He was fun, you know. He was a nice, because, you know, we might not agree with all of the updated characters, but I liked what they did with Ironhide. And I feel he deserves a better representation. And what's really sad is Wei Zhang, Black Mamba, or somebody's probably going to combine these two figures into something oversized and probably spectacular. Because although it's okay, it could be so much better. And I think that's why I'm disappointed, because of how much better I feel it could be. And we have to address the slight elephant in the room that my mate pointed out. He's got a willy. It's, in the studio, it's sort of like it's just, you know, awkward. Now I'm looking up Ironhide skirt. Anyway, so I did want to get these two next to each other. I mean, obviously size, heft, bulk, weight, all studio series. Legs, chest, head, Masterpiece. And all the bulk, sorry, I said studio by accident. But shoulders, and the arms coming out of his, I mean, could they tilt that in, get rid of that wheel? I mean, if they put a hinge there, so it folds in, it would bring it forward a little bit. Maybe, so like, yeah, so that should swing in, and then the wheel should be able to swing around, like they could rotate. But anyway, I wanted to love this guy. I really, really did want to love him. But I just feel disappointed. But I still love the character. I like. What was the first game? The Revenge of the Fallen. I remember Revenge of the Fallen came out on the Xbox 360. And it was the first game in a really long time that I could actually remember that had team deathmatch, online, Autobots versus Decepticons. And I would always pick Ironhide. And I really enjoyed it. If anybody else remembers that game, I mean, awful game, let's be clear. Terrible, terrible game. Great team deathmatch, Autobots versus Decepticons. That was the only thing I liked about the game. The story was appalling. But he was in it. Anyway, I'm going to get the Studio Series 1 transformed up, but not the Masterpiece one. Now, I have to admit, I'm mildly biased because I love this truck. I would love to own one of these giant 4x4s, but they probably cost as much as a house, so I haven't got one. You can store the weapons on the back, but I believe it looks a little bit ridiculous. It rolls very nicely. I've clearly mistransformed something because this door won't shut, but let's face it, it wouldn't be one of my videos if something wasn't transformed incorrectly, which is why I don't do videos. Slight hole there, but and his little feet are there. But other than that, I love it. I love the bit on the back with the logo. I think that's cool. Yeah, there's not much I could. It's a cool truck. I really like 4x4s like this. Let's bring in Clunker B. I mean, it's supposed to be big. Does that work? It's a lot closer. I know that because the Ratchet vehicle does not scale with these guys, but that's not bad. actually. I mean, what am I about? It's far too big. I finished my daughter's cherry bake while I'm clearly on a sugar high. Yeah, it's possibly but it's still a good looking truck, let's face it. Look at that, still not transformed. Not going to be transformed. So Studio Series Ironhide, I really like him. I think I prefer him to the Masterpiece. Oh, a little bit ahead. You can see his wonky eye through the wing mirror. Has anybody else got the weird painted eye, you know, like the one I pointed out in the robot? But yeah, cool truck, cool figure, slightly disappointing Masterpiece. If it just wasn't for those shoulders, see, I want to end on a positive. I am liking the Studio Series to a degree. Wow. God, I sound like a right misery. Alright, yeah, cool figure.
Robot.